Alrighty, we're all rested up. And that's definitely the big bad chamber right over there. Almost certainly. Let's go ruin them.
I'll take a look.
Suppose. Yep. You can partly tell because of the fact that it's the, yeah. It's totally the story room. Because they don't attack me on sight. Zolla. Ogre Druid, uh-oh. And Ogre. Alright. Well. Oh. Okay. Huh. They were in green mode and now they're not in green mode. Okay. Oh wait, I screwed up. Give me a second. Not the stealth. I would have just committed to that, but I forgot to switch my characters back after the rest. So I still had Kana in the front row, which is silly to do. What the fuck? Oh, you do that thing where stuff's in a weird order. Yeah. Some games will show all your quick saves first or all the autosaves first, based on category as opposed to time. When I feel like you should always show all of your saves based on the order in which they were made. Not based on stuff like that. Justice! You use your gun, I use my sword. Big ol' crushy weapon. There we go. Isn't that better?
Let's see what lies this way.
Maybe it's best to approach from this side.
Yes.
Stop it! Oh, you lunatic! Okay. He started going through the room. Not what I wanted from you at all. Okay. Ooh.
Hey.
Are they gonna aggro from here? No?
Of course.
Yep, that's when it starts. So Zolla does just attack you without dialogue. Oops. So everybody attack you, but you and you... Let's actually have you attack the druid, if I can. Oh, you gained attention. Okay, let's have you go after the druid. If I can get you to go that way. Oops, I just clicked in the middle of nowhere. The master speaks. Kill it. I will have its hands, its head. It will stand watch. Circle of protection, plus 15 to all defenses for 12 seconds. Let's start with the defensive cast here. No. Let's start with damage reduction. knock them on their ass initiative has not started well. Okay. Yeah, that's the one that affects allies. We have to be careful. This could be fun. Oh, it has to be on a specific... It is a faux area, though. Okay. It has to be on a specific person. You know what? Let's play with it. Let's play with a thing I haven't played with yet. That could be some fun. Itumak's not doing well, as you'd kind of expect. Oh. Oh. Oh, Ogre Druid interrupted Zolla. And the Ogre. They're just interrupting everybody. Making a bit of a mess for their team. Aw, Pillar of Faith grazes Zolla for 19 damage. That could have been cool. I thought I saw 100 damage pop up. Was it this? No, this is an effect. Yeah, Tanglefoot. Hitting and critting. But critting doesn't seem to do damage, right? It's just more effective. It crit a lot of people, including his allies and Zolla. It's an interesting choice, Ogre Druid. With Tanglefoot, I'm probably not going to be able to close that gap, so let's summon. Show me the summoning circle, asshole. Do you not have line of sight or something? It won't show me the range. There we go. It only shows it when you're outside of it, I guess. I really want Zolla to die. They have the big scary target. Wow, it's gonna take a while to summon that that skeleton. Itumak, no. Itumak's gonna die. There's so much to keep track of. Okay. Badly injured, barely injured. Plus 15 dual defenses, but that doesn't mean actual defense, right? It means... reflex is one of your defenses, right? It's like a 15% increased chance to not be affected by anything across the whole party, which is nice. I'm gonna send this one out for now. Nice little effect that affects all of my enemies and allies. Nice of them all to line up like this. Her weakest is reflex. I can work on that. Can't quite get all of them at once, but these two are the ones that are actually being affected right now. Did you never summon those skeletons? Oh, you're still working on that. It's just a very long cast. I'm also in slow mode, so things are feeling slower than normal. I chose to... Oh! I don't like how you turned around and hit Yaskier. That's not what I'm going for. I would like to suck the health out of you if I can, because you seem to be damaging me in a way that I don't appreciate. Welp, that didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work at all. And now the skeletons finally show up. That got bigger over time, didn't it? That cast. Hey, their leader's down. There we go. Now we can just revel as he just falls apart. And his weapon's ineffective. The human skeletons are ineffective, but I'm not gonna be able to do much about that. Yay, the ogre druid is killing the skeletons. That's exactly what I want him to kill. Is he dead yet? Not that dead. He is badly injured. We're all doing stuff back here, right? Yeah. I'm very paranoid that they're just gonna stand there. Weapon ineffective Sagani. Well, your alternate weapon is, yeah, melee. So let's not. Aloth, yeah, same thing with Aloth and everybody.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Come on.
Hey.
Let's get into shout range. And lightning this boy. Yeah, ineffective. Ineffective. 6.2 damage. Shit. He has to go down eventually, right? He has a lot of ice and fire damage reduction, and 15 across the board. Weakest to reflex, but it's not a bit terrible. We'll try a necrotic lance.
Lava. Beyond seek.
Gon's share heals Edda for 1 endurance. Yeah, there it is. Necrotic lance. It hasn't hit yet. There we go. 18 corrode damage plus more over time. Yep, 19 over 3 seconds. Badly damaged. Come on. I seem to remember being able to like sticky somebody's health bar to keep it on the screen without me having to always highlight them with the enemies and stuff like that. But that might be from Tyranny. Like when I'm fighting one guy, it'd be nice to be able to just make it show his health all the time. Maybe there's a hidden setting somewhere. This game does nothing if not lack for current action. What does that current action mean? Is he reloading? I'm not sure what that action means. Oh, right, he has Nocturne arrows. That's another reason to keep him in the back line and not switch him with my protagonist, is that he has a thing that boosts the ranged people's attack.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Come on, near death. Come on. Just plicking away. He probably cast... I don't know what Champion's Boon is. It might be that. He probably cast something that... Ah, Aloth! Ouch! Probably cast something that increased his DR significantly. Like barkskin related stuff. Stag's Horn, -10 in reflex, -10 deflection. Let's have you sit this one out. I don't need you to go down and suffer additional consequences.
Good shot with this.
Come on, it's so close. Just die. He can't still last this long. Do I need to use another ability? Come on, guys. He keeps getting interrupted when he tries to swing. It's really funny. Oh. I got kinda too close. Now he's getting proned by unrelated attacks. Come on, you can shout at him when you're on the ground, right? Blip. Kana, let's get you out of that range. You keep getting knocked down alongside him. I can't believe how long he's near death. Druids are scary in this game, evidently. Damn. Zolla's torque. This heavy ornate silver torque is of a size to fit a very large ogre. On anything else, it might serve as a very uncomfortable belt. The crudely engraved runes along its length suggest this torque holds some ceremonial purpose, though you cannot decipher their specific meaning.
Yeah.
A rusted shield decorated with many leafed tree adorns the wall. A small engraving at its base reads, "The Earl of Yenwood."
Hello? Hello?
There's probably a secret around here, yep. Prayer against fear, a common one. Minor bracers of deflection. What do you have? Dexterity. Yep, you're the one that's most likely to need deflection. And that slot's still empty, so good find for the tank. Thanks, Kana. Alright, well, that was semi-disastrous, but the party is overall healthy at the moment. Axes collected. How much area do we rule if we're getting taxes, I wonder? We lost 266 to bandits and earned 565. I don't know if that's the net after, or if we gained 565 and then lost 266. You would say, if you're thinking addition and subtraction, you might think the order of operations doesn't matter, but what I mean is I don't know if 565 reflects the number after we lost 266. I don't know if this is the resulting amount, or if we gained this and lost this, and my resulting amount is like a couple hundred, for example. Hard to say. But damn. Good to know that apparently, I collect taxes. That's helpful. Is that part of the merchant stalls that I didn't even read or something? Did I gain that recently, or did I always have that? It doesn't say anything about taxes here. Oh, the merchant stalls aren't even done yet, actually. So I can't even build anything. That was just my notification was that I got taxes. I don't know what they are counting as turns in the first place. I don't know what a turn is. Must just be the unit by which they determine events happening in this structure. In this little meta game where you make money and stuff like that. But yeah, good to know. So I assume that if I deal with bandits by increasing my security rating, that I'll then be able to just make more money in general. So that means I have yet another income source, which will both help fund the building itself and also just help fund things in general. It'll keep my numbers up. I also figure that going through this dungeon will help my numbers a fair bit, given that it's a dungeon. It's the big core dungeon under my base, so it's probably good for grinding money. Bulgar grunts. Is it done then? Give him Zolla's torque. Zolla's dead. Bulgar takes a deep breath. He is silent for several moments. Then it is done. Thank you, dwarf. That was not my mate in there. I will not remember her that way. Here. I will not need this, where I go. Use it well. Goodbye. They used to be paired, but then she lost her mind. Rundle's Finery? +2 lore, +2 intellect. Neat. 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 Though wealthy and well-educated, one Valian noble found himself all but shunned by his peers. He lacked an eye for fashionable dress, and had no particular talent for debate, finding that he could not articulate any portion of his admittedly vast pool of knowledge. While his colleagues held grand debates on the intricacies of animancy, or the state of the Valian republics, he stood apart. At last, desperate, the nobles turned to a local wizard and requested a set of clothing which might elevate him above the crowd and give him opportunity to prove his wits. The result was a marvel, perfectly fitted in accentuating his features in such a way that he was immediately the center of attention. The nobleman soon found, however, that his plan worked too well, for it was the wizard Rundle whose name became associated with the fine clothing, and who found his work much in demand in the coming seasons. So it worked so well that everyone wanted to have their own, as opposed to just giving him attention. And I can make it fine for 2 more damage reduction. And it's not even that expensive to do so. I'm pretty sure I'll use this on somebody, so I might want to do that. 10% ability area of effect is admittedly pretty good. But 2 intellect and 2 lore. You're just wearing a robe, though. Intellect effects. Why does highlighting intellect not tell me what intellect does in this game, by the way? I just... Come on, man. Don't fight me. I'm just trying to refer to what things do. I have to look at this, don't I? I have to look at it here. There we go. It contributes to will, defense, and influences duration and area of effect of all abilities and talents. It's a good chanter stat. Yep. I do want that intellect on a chanter for increased area of effect. That is why it's my core stat. It does not affect damage. Oh well. It works well on a priest for obvious reasons too. Also adds... Wow, it makes him look neat, except for the stupid cape. Does this do anything? 9 will. Ah, shit. Listen. I'm gonna swap out your cloaks, because it'll look better on you. There we go. Now he's got it. Now he's got an appearance. Yeah, these both match them better anyway. I should have made this change a long time ago. Now we've got theming. Also, it's perhaps weird to have an Eothasian priest robe cape on Durance. We'll put you away for now. Now that I've decided to use it, yes, let's make it good. And now you've got a badass robe. 5 damage reduction, 2 intellect, 2 lore. That's good. Can you enchant capes? No, you can't. Yeah. I think it's just chest pieces and weapons, more or less. Add some burning damage to it. And it's only 100 CP. Shock damage. I do like the bonus enemies engaged. I do wish I had a better idea of how much how good of a weapon it's turned out to be. I don't know. I don't exactly have DPS meters to help me know which one has been doing better, one or the other. Let's make this a scary-ass weapon. Bet it's expensive now. Oh god. Yep. Alright. So it has bonus enemies engaged, bonus accuracy and damage against Amawa and all the other humanoids, and then burn damage just in general. Enemies engaged. Could be a good one. If I don't find myself loving it long term, maybe I'll give it to somebody else. Sorry about that. This one, of course, already has fine, fine and crushing. And exceptional requires me to be level 8, so I think I might be able to replace that fine with the exceptional. But I need brains and being like twice as high of a level. So you must be able to hit at least level 16 in this game. Kraken eyes, god damn. It's a big ask. I'm going all in. This guy will specialize in wilders, that guy will specialize in humans. My restraint is dissolving away. I think there was a cool gun or something though back there. It's either a cool arbalist or a cool gun that I'll consider giving Kana instead of enchanting this one, I think. We'll see. I don't know. Enchantments are exciting and I don't want to sit here and not use them forever. And my money is going up at a considerable rate that I think I can get away with this. Alright. Time to continue clearing the entire floor out of habit, even though the objective's already complete. Get him. Look at that flaming sword and flaming rapier. Those are neat. Wait, you're not flaming. Why are you glowing? Why is his weapon glowing? He has bonus crush damage. Is it glowing because it's like Sting from Lord of the Rings and it's like it's near its elemental weakness? Brisk recitation. Other stuff. Hunter's instincts. Accuracy against wilders and primordials. Swollen eye, -4 perception. Where is Hunter's instinct even coming from? I think I've hit my cap where there's just so many things happening that I can't keep track of everything anymore. Because yours is also glowing. Is that a buff on us? At the side of their comrades, their hearts grow bold. Does that make our weapons glow orange? Or is that just an enchanted weapon? Like when you reach a certain level of enchantment, it just looks like that? They're still glowing. Maybe that is just an enchantment. Maybe that's what crushing looks like and that's what fire looks like, because you are fire enchanted, but you're crushing enchanted. I guess it does look different. Because that's clearly fire flame, flaming, you know, flame, plumes of flame, whatever you want to call it. And that's like a weird aura of darkness. It's like a deeper orange. That might have always been there. Guess how much I trust this hallway? I don't.
Following your lead.
Hey, Kana. An impressive statue. How old do you think this is? Housed within a quiet alcove, the stone figure strides boldly forward, one arm held high. Judging by the style of the clothing and the cracked remnants of a beard upon the statue, Yaskier suspects that this is the Earl of Yenwood, a lauded warrior. He was known to lead his men into battle, wielding a gleaming saber. Housed within a quiet alcove, the stone figure blah blah blah. There's not seem to be a trap in this room. Jolting touch.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea.
Let's just see if anyone can detect anything in here.
Not very quiet.
No? Listen, I can already see there's a room over here. So, if you could just come out and say how to get there, that'd be appreciated. Oh, he's known for his gleaming saber. Gotcha. I just put that together. I need to go find his gleaming saber. That's what's going on. It's probably over here in the only part of the map I haven't been to yet. Get him! Regular ogres? Okay. As long as it's not a shaman, we're in good shape. The shamans are scary. Come on, third chance. Yeah! Keep forgetting that you're so far away. Skeletons, go! Did that even do anything? It did some damage and stunning, but neither of them moved, I guess. Yeah. Alright. One down, soon to be two down. Everybody, curb stomp him while he's down. Get him, get him, get him. And he exploded mid-animation. The Gibby explosions are ridiculous and incredible. They're amazing.
Right.
I'm continually unready for them. Flies swarm around this decaying ogre head, roving over its dead eyes and slack jaw.
Yeah.
18 times 6? Yep, we're making money. The wooden scaffolding is rotted away, crumbling under its own weight. Around it are signs of an excavation, evidently abandoned long ago. This must be the old tunnels that they said changed. Or... whoa! Interesting. Cool. Okay, so here's how I leave. Here's how I go in and out of this place as I go. I was wondering, like, do I have to walk up every floor individually each time? Because that'd be kind of annoying. But it looks like you do have these fast travel spots. So this is probably be a good place to end it for now, if I want to. And then come back in a bit to do a few more floors later on. Pace this out a bit. It seems to suggest that the sacrificial pit goes even further. There's a hole on here too on the map. Interesting. Let's go find that saber. There they are. Any druids? No druids, no problem. Y'all are kind of causing me a problem though. See, my casters need to be able to get into attack range. It's kind of an issue. How are you still in the way of Yaskier? Can he not get through, really? Yes he can. Why was he stopping? Weird. Oh no, Itumak's dead because the whole party wasn't helping. Because they couldn't get through doors correctly. Oh no, that's probably why. I never fixed my formation. Crap. That's why that happened. I was gonna say, I'm being a good boy and right-clicking to make sure that everybody, like, shapes their movements correctly and shit. I should have been fine. And yet I was not. A little shock damage never hurt anybody. It hurts everybody. You could just politely knock him on his... he's near death. Knock him on his ass. There we go. Ooh. He didn't like that. Ooh. Uh-oh. Okay, while he's stunned, let's get you away. There we go. He's sitting here scrubbing. That's so brutal. To have to use such a giant gun that he has to sit there and scrub it out and everything after each attack.
Right away.
Holy crap. That's a big ask.
Keeping an eye out.
That's what muskets are like. These massive bones have been picked clean, and several cracked to access the marrow within. All bear the marks of teeth. Is this where they hid the, Yep. There's gonna be a trap. Everyone should leave. Just in case. Oh, he's fine. Okay.
Told you the tale of the Kamoa warriors?
A great sword.
80 glorious verses. Verse 1.
Verse 1. He's gonna tell. He's just gonna drown it out. One of those people that thinks that everyone definitely wants to hear what they have to say. And will love it. Well, unfortunately, I don't think I found the saber.
Nice and slow.
That's not good news. A gleaming saber. I don't have a single saber in this entire inventory, do I? No, there's one. It's not gleaming, though. I'll put it in my inventory just in case. Maybe it opens up a dialogue. Nope. Nope. I need to have the gleaming saber.
Keeping quiet.
And then put that in his hand, and then a door around here should probably open. Maybe you find it in a deeper floor, and then come back, if you remember. And it's like a test in that way. Either way, let's not drown ourselves with constant Odnua. Pace it out over the course of the campaign, probably. I'm not bored with it, though. So that's good. Odnua has not bored me, which I was worried it might. But it might get old to just do it all in one go. Although I imagine there will be noticeable,
It's
difficulties.
We're not sleeping here, are we?
I imagine that if we commit to it long enough, we're going to get into some difficulties trying to go through there, where eventually it'll become too hard, because it's probably meant to be done over the course of the whole campaign. I would like to clean up this front room, just because it's all depressing looking, and everything else is kind of nice. Where is the merchant stalls? It's probably in the main building, right? Yep, they just got finished. I'll rest first. Well, the Western Barbican enables several developments to be done at all, and it also increases security against invaders. So, sure, make that our next go. We'll go upstairs and give everyone a nice, free rest. Since we are back up here. That'll probably be my pattern. I'll go through that dungeon for a bit till I get to the next fast travel spot that lets me go back to the service, and then I go back to service and do some story stuff along the way and go back and forth. I have not unlocked additional bonuses.
You know, there are accounts of watchers in all of the regions I've visited. If the adventuring life doesn't work out for you, you could always read souls for coin, give people advice, tell them which family they're related to and whom they should duel for past offenses.
Wow. I have a fruitful career as being this universe's 23andMe. I'm glad you find this so amusing. Sorry. It seems I'm not very good at raising spirits, Kana winces. That was unintentional. I was also not intending such a severe response, but I guess that's how it was interpreted. So, mutual in that. It's too bad you only get survival bonuses if you rest in the wilderness. Like, I can't get damage reduction from sleeping in a bed, even though I get it from sleeping at a campfire.
A few repairs and this keep will be a sight to see.
I'm not sure if I understand why that would be the case, but it apparently is. Merchant stalls? Let's read about the merchant stalls where it says it was. There's a lot of place to explore blindly. Sell general goods in your great hall. So it probably is here, right? Maybe right here? Yep.
Good day to you.
Greetings, my lord. Fancy a new blade? Maybe an axe? I've plenty here to take the fancy of any man of action. Or perhaps some ingredients and spices for the road. I've oils and tinctures for the ailing man, too. Want to have a look? Hopefully he's trustworthy because I'm letting him in. Open up stash. So many hunting bows. My god. There's just so many. I fought so many of the same guy. These are the same item, they're just visually different. Gotta catch 'em all. They aren't as likely to have armor. Just tons of weapons drop everywhere, apparently. Well, that's a big old pile of money. Trade. And then reset.
Good day, stranger.
If it can be used to hurt or heal someone, I have it here for sale. I'm just curious. I mysteriously saw more to sell before, I think. But I might have just made some kind of weird mistake. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that bolstered our supplies a bit. Oh god, now everything I sold is in his inventory. Too many things. Oh god. Every single one? Oh, so he doesn't sell shit. I can just sell to him. But he doesn't have... Yeah, he doesn't have anything. Wow. He just has what I sold to him, and then these potions. That's expensive for 100 endurance. Holy crap. They don't want you being able to buy those easily. Your camping supplies cost more than the other characters. And a hammer and chisel. I'm a little suspicious that, yeah. Hammer and chisel, rope and grappling hook, they seem like they're useful. I'll throw those in my stash and increase my stock of them for when the chances come. Alright. So he'll probably get better stock over time. Oh, all these traps that he disabled are here. Neat. And let's put this away, I think. Oh, and these. And the pry bar, for that matter, which is, I guess, is probably a similar item. I'll put the torch away. I'll go looking for it if I think I need it. Whereas I don't know if lockpicks need to be in your inventory. Anyway. Well, I can sell to him at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've used a hammer and chisel before, and I'm sure the other ones are also similarly useful in situations, so we'll keep an eye out for those times. Ah! I finished my second floor. As per my rules, that means we're going to read another book. In general, I'll probably try to read
some work before this place is secure. My husband could fix them right up.
One way or another. We'll probably try to read one every episode, just kind of in general, just to try to make it through here. The Monsters of the Deadfire Archipelago. Whoa. Oh, this is a big one. This is a terrifyingly big one. Alright, class, settle in. The archipelago winds its way between the Great Eastern Ocean and the Restless Ocean. Hundreds of small islands in the midst of the water. Few dare brave its treacherous rapids, and fewer still have returned to tell the tale of their adventures through it. Travel between the two oceans is virtually impossible. Great storms hammer any ships foolhardy enough to attempt to navigate, and this alone should be enough to deter anyone from attempting the voyage, as untold ships have gone down, tossed against the rocks. The weather and treacherous rocks are only a precursor to the actual horror of the archipelago, the terrors of the deep. No one knows how many creatures stalk the oceans, waiting for unsuspecting sailors to drift into their waters, but we do know of some. The Barbed Ravager. Oh good, a shark. Yay. I'm glad this is all on a paper and not in the world. Also, even if I did encounter these things, they'd only be encountered from the perspective of a CRPG, so it's not nearly as bad as if these creatures were in Subnautica or something. A giant shark that is known to ram passing vessels, trying to knock sailors off the deck and smash a hole in the hull. It has tremendous spines protruding from its side and back that are presumed to be poisonous. The largest sighted barbed ravager with survivors was estimated to be almost 30 feet long. I take it that when we get to the Deadfire sequel, transportation via boat, which is probably how you get around a lot. It's probably like Divinity Original Sin 2, where like the boat is your core moving around vessel that you use. I imagine there might be some Dragon Age Origins style interruptions to your travels, where you're suddenly dealing with the situation midway across the map because these things show up. Winding Serpent. Smaller around than the Ravager, but potentially longer, the Winding Serpent attacks in small packs, usually 3 to 8. They have long, sharp heads, somewhat reminiscent of a barracuda. Like the Ravager, they repeatedly slam into the side of a ship, hoping to crack a hole in it or knock someone from the deck. They have also been known to swim to the depths and shoot up out of the ocean, landing on the deck, coiling and winding their way around, snapping up any crew that they can before plunging back into the ocean. Leviathan. Imagine the largest whale you've ever seen. The Leviathan's at least 10 times that size. By the time a ship sees a Leviathan, it's already too late. As they rise from the depths, the water around them begins to spin and sink, creating a whirlpool. Leviathan's body surrounds the hapless vessel, preventing escape. And as it goes down, the enormous mouth opens, pulling all aboard to their watery deaths. Yep. Just a fucking death hole opens in the ocean. That's horrible. Polpovir. All the creatures you've read about in this book are nothing compared to the Polpovir. Barely the size of a man, what they lack in size and strength they make up for in numbers and terrifying viciousness. Their lower halves are massive tentacles, like an octopus or squid. but more numerous. The tentacles are long, barbed whips with suction cups on the underside, and small, thorny barbs on the top. The sheer number of tentacles gives them a frightening speed when walking on land, pulling themselves forward almost as fast as a running horse. While they vaguely resemble a human from the waist up, any extended examination proves how wrong the assumption is. Long, stringy, black hair falls from the top of their heads to cover a face taken directly from a nightmare. A wide, gaping mouth cuts across the bottom of its head from ear to ear, full of wicked dagger-like teeth. 2 large round eyes are sunken into its head, black as coal, shining with a malevolent fire. A small antenna protrudes from the middle of its forehead, ending in a small nodule that can glow with an eerie blue light. One can imagine a sailor on the deck of his ship at night, looking out across the black water, blood freezing as countless lights appear beneath the surface, rising toward him as the pulpavir swarm upwards. Because they seem to be more octopus than man, they can collapse in on themselves, fitting into spaces no person should be able to. The smallest crack in a hull, the slightest separation between boards offers them entrance. It is not unknown for them to slaughter an entire crew from hold up to deck by infiltrating the ship from underneath. Fortunately, they do not seem to have spread too far outside of the archipelago, but there may come a day when pulpavir attacks become commonplace. Okay, that's a heavy amount of lore and foreshadowing about that specific race, so I'm guessing that the pulpavir are one of the enemies in... I mean, these probably all show up in some way in Deadfire, but I'm guessing that in the sequel, pulpavir are like the Geth or the Reapers, where that's the big threat that is probably the dark spawn, like the big core attack is probably these guys swarming and what they're going to do about that problem. I look forward to the sequel. That'll be interesting. We'll see whether or not I feel like playing it right after this one. These games are long, but I'll get to it. We'll get to it. It'll probably be my next CRPG, just to get them both done in a row, but I might break it up with a third-person action-adventure RPG thing, just because it's a long time to play one type of game. Still, I disagree that they're nothing compared to the pulpavir. No, the Leviathan is clearly worse. Like, I guess the pulpavir can come on land and stuff like that, and they're probably the core threat, and that's probably why it's so heavily set up, but like, this is horrible. The giant horrible death hole that swallows an entire ship. Like, that's clearly worse. I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with the idea that they proposed there. Alright, and it's been a while, so let's talk to one of you guys. We haven't really talked to you at all, Durance. You just weirdly joined up with me one day. And we should really, like, follow up on that at some point. I need to leave. I thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Why were we supposed to meet? The why of it is why you're a watcher, he snorts. A watcher runs 2 roads of why. For me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words, or even bothered with you, but now, seeking out watchers is what I do. I do to put the truth to them, to see which of the 2 ways they bend. He smiles slightly, taunting. Truth? What kind of truth? Either you're a dry field in need of a harvest burning, he frowns for a moment, his eyes flat, or you're lost in the darkness. Either way, you can see differently from others. He gives a half smile, and his tone becomes accusing. I can tell by the way you notice the staff first off. Not many can see it at first, nor the etchings or the flames, but your eyes... He stares at you, almost eagerly, nodding. Your eyes trace the path. That I could see. So which are you? A dry field or lost in darkness? Durance's face tenses. The day we don't trade that question back and forth is the day our paths no longer need to be joined. And the trial... Durance's hand clenches his staff. The trial is done. So you don't know either. You know this nation is diseased. Don't need to be a watcher to see it in the children, the politics, the men that stalk the roads with knives in hand and murder in their eyes. This land needs life again. New seeds planted in the burned soil. His voice drops, mocking, and his eyes narrow. And something tells me you can see the path to making that future happen, Watcher. Your kind always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, its people, don't need any more lies blinding them, nor do I. You test a truth. You don't blindly accept it. And how do you plan to test me? Sharing the road, of course. One truth to match another, matching each other's pace, keeping rhythm. Other priests can keep their teachings and rantings. For my faith, my teaching, sharing the road is a simple, hard truth. His smile widens, and his hands tap against his waist, once, then twice. And when you knock one truth against the leg of another, why, both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, his smile dies and his eyes narrow, why, you make a cripple with but one leg to stand on. Is that why you carry that staff? Is that why I... Durance is about to launch another volley of words, blinks, then rolls his head back and laughs deeply. The laughter coming until it seems the air will run out of his lungs, until it seems forced. Perhaps your words are worth listening to, Watcher, he frowns, any trace of humor gone. But the truth will win out. Keep pace and we'll see. He got the joke. He got the joke maybe too much, distressingly. Let me ask you about something else.
The cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
Wow, he's confusing and threatening and all over the place and strange. Tell me about Magran. Oh, you know her, you must. He gives a bitter chuckle, then his tone evens out. She's a many-headed bitch. What is your view on Magran?
She's a goddess, as fickle as they come, and with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
Although flame rarely crosses twice, so perhaps that is the only truce she embraces. Who knows? Gods get greedy. When it comes to fire, fire is a god's hunger. It's so strange to have a sentence that literally is an ellipses continuing a previous thought, and it's no longer voiced. It's the voice implementation in here is almost as strange as like the voice acting implementation in like a Yakuza game, or even more so in like Lost Odyssey. Certain JRPGs where like Lost Odyssey was really strange, where like in one sequence you have a visual novel and a pre-rendered cutscene that's fully voiced, obviously, and then a fully voiced, fully animated, not pre-rendered in-engine cutscene, and then a weird mouth flapping at each other where people just stand across a room and silently do text boxes at each other, like all in one sequence. And I'm like, I'm so confused by the production values of this game. I haven't played the game for a while. I never beat it. Yakuza is more formulaic, where it's really obvious which parts will be voiced and which parts won't be. All of the main story is usually fully voiced, and all of the side stuff is never voiced, basically. Whereas this, like, one conversation flickers in and out at random, it would seem. What are her aspects? Durrance begins to count on his fingers, chanting it off. War transforms, fire consumes, trials purify, warfare, fire, consuming, purification, and most of all, transforming. Trials as well, but all things are put to the test anyway. A trial can consume, purify, transform. They are all linked, although at its heart is the flame, and the flame is what matters. It is the source of all things. Guess they should have started with that, eh? Any fool around a campfire knows that. Without flames, fire, we would have made little progress in the dark. To hear some of the inner fires tell it around the hearth and bellows, even in the halls of Ashfall, you'd think that fire brought life to man, and that fire was Magran. Some of the older texts say she rubbed her hands together and they burst into flame. Or another god shafted her like a poker. They did a fuck and then fire happened. There are different perspectives on her then. He grunts. Mine is only one sight among many. Durrance frowns, pauses, then his eyes take on an eager gleam. But here's one. I can speak to how the losing side sees her, and that should tell you enough. Let me speak to what an Adiran sees. Aw, I'm not Adiran. So I have dialogue here if I happen to be Adiran, but I don't have dialogue when I talk to a Boreal Dwarf about being a Boreal Dwarf. I wonder if they added Boreal Dwarfs later in the expansion, later on. I doubt it, though, because you meet one. So it's not like they, like, retconned it into existence. It's super weird that I don't have dialogue with what's her name, Sabani? About being the same origin. And what does an Adiran see? The Adirans have a proper, polite translation for her. Excellence in war, tactical discipline, he snorts. That's why they lost the fucking colony, of course. They were properly still quoting that, while we had them bent across the decks. All their guns and cannons are fine, but useless when your staff is crackling light into their skulls, dispensing red gifts left and right. Durrance's fists tighten, and he laughs. Adirans call that elevation, divine awareness. Those words are welcome as shit on one's boots, and that's all they took back with them while they were running. He shakes his head. A lesson learned at the wrong time. Always feel a pang of sympathy for them. Almost. Lesson? What do you mean? The title of a god isn't knowing a god, adhering to words rather than walking the path, testing yourself in the heat of it, walking until the words are stripped away and you feel it, burning in your heart. That's the lesson. That Adiran politeness, that pretty adherence to the word of scripture as they saw it, that burned their ships, scarred them, kept them running throughout the Deerwood campaign. He snorts. Deerwood, a divine awareness. There's no true faith in waiting to be tested. The best in battle have already shit themselves plenty. Shit themselves until they're dry and can focus on the killing. All right. I think that'll be it for now, Durrance. That's enough for now. Bit of a fucking variety in this party, huh? Still can't quite put my finger on Durrance, but whatever it is, it's probably not good.